Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. The end of a long week, the end of a long season. Actually, I'll be glad to see the back of it. Although we do have the playoffs next week. Started to form some opinions as well, so maybe I'll share those with you before the week is over. But yeah, just a day to go, and I think the last day of the season throws up its usual conundrums. Particularly, if you have a look through the coupon, then you'll know how difficult it is to form a strong opinion about a side getting the 3 points or not, as the case may be, and it becomes even more difficult when we start to look at goal scorers. Those of you like-minded, like myself, who like to pick out a goal scorer or two every Saturday, you've got managers resting players, managers giving the youth team a chance, players coming to the end of their loan spells. Difficult to kind of quantify people's motivations and whether or not they're going to start. So I guess you approach this weekend with the same amount of caution as you should always do. But maybe, well, actually a little bit more caution this weekend, because we're not too sure who's going to play, where they're going to play. And I guess the last day of the season often throws up a few odd results as well. But I tried to find a few angles for you. I think we'll start off at London Road. Peter were playing with a side that have known that they're going to be in the playoff spots for a fair few weeks, have known that they're going to be sixth in the playoff spots as well, so they can prepare for that home tie in the first leg. They host a Port Vale side that are, I guess, just, for a fair few weeks now, just meandering towards the end of the season without an away win in 12. Every chance that Darren Ferguson could choose to rest Britta Somber longer. Which is, I guess, if you're of that opinion, you want to take a gamble that he does, then a Sombolonga takes out a large proportion of the market in the anytime market. So worthwhile looking elsewhere. I think a potential angle could be the fact that if he is missing, then obviously he won't be on penalties. Every chance that Grant McCann, if he starts, could be back on the penalties. He's been known to take one or two and scored a couple earlier in the season. Just by looking at some of the prices on the betting, I imagine some firms are taking the opinion that if a Sombolonga is missing, I've got through all the way of the season without saying that wrong, and here I am, last day of the season saying it wrong. If a Sombolonga is missing, then every chance that McCann could spring up at a nice price if a penalty comes their way, and he obviously gives you the option of scoring not from a penalty as well. So 5-1, we'll stick him up first of all. Next of all, Swindon versus Rotherham. So I guess nothing much, or Steve Evans will tell you that there's nothing much to play on this game. I think Swindon capitulated. Well, not capitulated, that's unfair. They've obviously done well this season, and I guess as relegation, or touted for relegation at the start of the season, they've obviously avoided that quite easily. Last week at Notts County was a weekend to forget, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Archibald Henville and Nathan Thompson both seeing red in that game, so they both missed this weekend. As does Alex Pritchard, whose loan spell has come to an end. The unfortunate circumstance that it was a youth loan, so when he turns 21, I think that means he has to go home, or back to Spurs in this case. And he turned 21 this weekend, so he's not going to be available. So a Swindon side that are kind of limping over the end of the season. A Rotherham side that obviously looking forward to the playoffs. Steve Evans has been in the papers this week saying, it doesn't really matter where we finish. I think if they win and Orient and Preston lose, then there's a chance that they can secure a home leg in the second tie. It's all kind of beyond me, really. It all become clear, I suppose, at 5 o'clock tomorrow. He's already started to tinker a bit with the side over the last few weeks. Do we take a chance that he kind of rests a few and goes with Tom Hitchcock, who's going off at 2-1, a bigger price than the rest of the forward players? He's made a few sub-appearances in the last few weeks. Do we take a chance that, a player who's got, 9 goals and 18 appearances this season across a couple of sides, makes that Rotherham starting 11 tomorrow? We probably do. Like I said, on a weekend where you're taking a gamble that players even start, really, I think Hitchcock presents, maybe a tiny bit of value if we take a gamble that he might start. So we'll stick him in as well. So Tom Hitchcock and Grant McCann make up 2 of the 3. The third one then, I still think there's probably a bit of value in Hallam Hope for Bury. So Daniel Nardiello still suspended for them, so he can provide the focal point for that Bury attack, who are scoring plenty of goals. He scored a hat-trick in the 4 draw with Portsmouth last weekend. Like I say, Nardiello still suspended. Morecambe, maybe they might just take their eye off the ball a little, had that threat of relegation hanging over them for the last few weeks. Jim Bentley's already talked about resting a few players this weekend, as will do a whole host of managers as well. But every chance that Bury could end the season well. Hallam Hope, he'll obviously, last game of his loan, so he'll be going back at the end of the season. So if you're looking for players with a tiny bit of motivation, then maybe you could argue that he's one of those. I thought 2-1 was short enough, but in the grand scheme of things, was still a decent price if you think Bury score, and more than likely he's going to be kind of there or thereabouts. So Hallam Hope then for Bury, Tom Hitchcock taking a chance that he starts for Rotherham, and Grant McCann taking a chance that he might have a penalty come his way in the perceived absence of Britta Sombalonga. Whatever you are backing this weekend, obviously be lucky. Perhaps I'll see you over the next few weeks. If not, have a really good pre-season. No doubt I'll be forming plenty of opinions, and I'll, as always, let you know what they are, who might be the potential relegation candidates, promotion candidates. We're looking too far ahead already towards the beginning of next season. But yeah, maybe we'll reconvene next week and have a look at the playoffs. Yeah, let's see. Whatever you're backing, be lucky. Hopefully you can find a few winners this weekend.